Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. What a beauty. What a little beauty. Check it out. I mean, look at that. Free draining transom. Oof. I'm in love. Yeah, nah. Big picket project for my liking. I think we'll just leave that one at the tip. What I really wanted was the trailer it came with. Got the whole thing for $200 on Facebook Marketplace. Dropped the boat off at the tip. It came with an outboard motor as well, a Mercury, which I sold for $350. And I was left with the trailer, and I had $150 in my pocket. So I was pretty happy with that, because I'm going to need it. A few things need replacing, as you can see. Those springs don't look real good, and the hanger might be a little bit broken. Yeah, I'll have to do a bit of work on this, I think, but it's a good project. Yeah, so the angle grinder's been my friend. Took a bit of effort to get all this gear off. Every single bolt rusted solid, but it's pretty fun. Oh, those bearings, they're perfect, aren't they? We've got the boat trailer stripped back, got all the gear off it. There was a substantial amount of frozen bolts, all rusted hard, solid in their housings, which was a nightmare. I had to cut a lot of stuff off to get it back to where I need to. There's a whole box of gear over there, as you can see. But this is the rough arrangement. I've got this flexi strut stuff that I'm going to use to try and make some brake brackets to hold the bunkers up. So these are the bunkers that the pontoons sit on. You can see one over there I started. So I've just cut a section out of it, bent it down to a almost 90-degree angle, not slightly up above 90. I want these bunkers to sit with a bit of an angle so that the pontoons slide inwards, not outwards. That's sort of the arrangement. It's about right. I think that's about where it's going to end up. I'll trim all that up and weld it up and put some bracing in it once I know it's exactly right. I'll go around and do that on all four corners, and I'll probably put one in the center as well, because these are a bit wobbly, these boards, without the support. Yes, I did all the axle, and you probably saw all that on the earlier footage, but new bearings, new caps, new seals, ground all of the axle back, ground up all the rust off the hubs, and rust treated the whole thing, and then galvanized painted it as well. So hopefully that keeps it alive for a bit longer. New springs went lighter than the ones that were on there. The boat that was on here was about 500 or 600 kilos. I'm not getting 100, so I put a 3-leaf spring on. So I didn't want to bounce them down the road too much. So hopefully they're good. Yeah, so I've got to get the bunkers done. I'm going to marine carpet them, get them mounted on the frames, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the transom area and how I'm going to make that work as well. Tune in later. Just got all the brackets sitting in place now, so I've got 3 on each side. There's one behind the guard as well. I've just obviously cut a section, 45-degree section, slightly off 45 degrees, so it's got a bit of a tip in it like that, and just welded that corner for now. I'll put bracing in that goes from there to there. I've got some strap in the shed that left over from another job, so I'll chuck that in. Not sure these little ones will need it because they're fairly strong, but we'll see. So I've got all 6 done. There's 3 on the other side. I've only got enough clamps to hold this side up though. I'm just testing it to make sure it looks right. And then I think I'll just weld it off straight onto the chassis. Hopefully the pontoons are in the right place for the boat, because I haven't got the bloat blown up. I don't really want to bring it out here with welders and grinders and stuff, so I'm going to wing it, I reckon. See how we go anyway. Got a length of this seat purlin, which is what the whole boat's made, trailer's made out of, from a local demolition guy. It was $10 for a 3 metre length, which was good. second-hand reuse. I'm going to mount this on the back here like that. These are actually mount points for the existing lights. They're over there in the box, but they came with it. You can actually take them off because they weren't submersible, so you can take them off before you put the boat in the ocean. But I am going to put waterproof LEDs on, so I'm going to make this platform across here using these mount points, weld this C-purlin onto it, and then I've got these rollers that came out of the trailer, the original rollers. I'm going to cut through this frame and mount them on top of the C-purlin somehow, weld it to the top section of that, so when it's up here it becomes a roll point for the pontoons to go onto bunkers with. Figure I'm better off reusing those sorts of things. And this frame then, yeah, as I said, will house the waterproof LEDs, and obviously I don't need to maintain the V-shape like you do for a normal boat, so I'll just go straight across with it. And I like a bit of a bumper. I'll be able to put the number plate, license plate on there as well with the license plate light. We'll get into that, see how we go. Tack them into spot. I'll load the boat, pump it up and load it before I put any final welds on anything. So they're just tacked on really badly by the looks of it, but that went on pretty well. I think that's good. So I've centered the center of the pontoons is 1300 wide. So I've made the center of those 1300 wide. And it should skim up and land on there. And then when the pontoon's resting, it shouldn't touch those. Not that it really matters if it does, but didn't really want it resting on it. Yeah, it's getting dark, so I might call it a night and then get back into it tomorrow. I've had a couple of weeks off. We're back at it again though. Realised, staring at it in the backyard for the last couple of weeks, that this rear bumper bar setup, this bracket that came out the back here, was bent up terribly. So the only way I could get it to move was cut a section out of it and then bend it back down, so now it's back to the right spot, and I'll just re-weld that cut. Problem was going to be that the roller was too high, and the pontoon sitting on the bunker, it would have been touching that, and would have been a rub point, so I had to fix that, which I did. Next job is to get onto some brackets. So I've got a heap of this leftover really heavy Galv plate, flat bar, which it's probably too heavy for the job, but I've got it, so I'm going to use it. I just have to cut sections and chuck them in like that and weld them off, and then I'll finish welding these on. So I've got to do that to all 6 brackets, and then we're ready to start putting the bunkers on. That's roughly how it'll look. I'm going to actually put the carpet over the hole, cut a slit in the carpet like a little cross, and then drop the bolt through and pull the carpet down into the countersunk hole as well, so it holds the carpet on, and hopefully it's a snug fit, and just wash in a no-lock underneath to hold it in. Should be alright. Green. That's both of them done. Looking pretty good. There's another layer of glue under this edge, and it is puckering up a little bit along there, but I think it'll be all right. The front edge where the boat hit impacts from the rear, I've just folded it over, doubled it, didn't cut it at all because I didn't want any potential for tear there or any wood exposed. So it's got a nice thick 2 layers, 3 layers in some spots of carpet. And the other end, when I had this diagonal cut, it was quite tricky. I had to do some weird cuts to get it to fold in straight. I ended up stuffing that one up a bit, but anyway, I think they'll be all right. Chuck them on, see how they look. Seemed to work pretty well. That's pretty perfect. Really happy with how that turned out. Look at the bunkers sit right on those rubber bits, the black rubber sections. I was a bit nervous at the front. It curves in like that, and when I lined it up with the red rollers at the back, it was a bit off the centre, but it's only for that first sort of foot that it missed. I haven't got this pumped up fully either. I noticed it flexing a bit when I was hitting certain things, so once I got up to full PSI, it'll go on a bit easier. Time to weld up some brackets for the transom mount platform. There she is, roughly in place, just got it clamped off. I think it's going to work. I've got the 2 legs offset back and forth so that it gives it a bit more twisting strength, because if they're both in the same plane, it'd probably want to do this a bit easier. Yeah, it seems to have worked out all right. Oh, so little room in this shed with this caravan. I really need to tidy it up. Not sure if the camera picked that up properly, but it really struggled to get up onto the trailer until I used the tilt trailer option. So I'm really glad I've got that. So I just disconnected that, and then the trailer lifts up and gets it at a better angle for the pontoons to start sliding up onto the bunkers. And also, I've noticed, makes it much simpler. It doesn't try and go off the bunkers because the trailer is at the same angle, and the winch keeps the front of the boat central. Works pretty well. As luck would have it, it just hits this, which I think I'm actually going to be able to use to my advantage. I think I'll cut a slot there and then chuck a bit of rubber, heavy rubber, screw it down over that whole area so that when this folds down, the skeg sits in the rubber and provides support. And yeah, just put a pretty heavy Jockey or something strap across there just to lock it in. I mean, that skeg cops everything in the ocean anyway, so it's not going to matter if it's rubbing on a bit of rubber while we're traveling. There is you can't see the movement now because it's sitting on the floor, but I had it in the shallow water position before and there's a lot of movement, so I've really got to try and avoid that or destroy my transom and the outboard mount. Anyway, that's it all set up there. I'm just gonna, now I've got the boat out of the way, just weld that off and cut the section out of there and weld along the top edge, get all the plastic out of the way, and then pretty close to job done. I've just glued the carpet down as well. Give that half an hour to dry and then we'll cut that and screw it on and have that finished as well. That's the brackets welded on, so they're done. I'll just clean them up a bit more and then give them a bit of a paint. Cut the section out here where the skeg on the outboard will sit as well, push into there. And I've got some of this gym mat left over from the gym I put up in the shed, so flooring stuff. So I'll just cut it to size and screw it down, and then I think that'll give good flex. The motor will push down into that. Not sure if this is the best stuff, but I'll make it removable. Might need something with a bit more flex because it feels like it'll break pretty easily. See how it goes. And then while I've got the boat off and the welder running, I've just made a few little tie down points to tie the outboard down to there, and I'll put some up here as well that I can run up to the top of the transom and pull the transom down onto the platform that's going to go there. Coming together. Also, while I got the boat off, I'll put the running boards there that I can walk up and down. I'll use those ones I didn't end up using for the bunkers. And geez, we're pretty close to all the hard bits done, and then I just got to chuck the tail lights on. Good job done. Ended up using a different type of material. This is actually stuff I used as a floor in the storage area of a caravan that I built. It's got a lot more flex. I put the other stuff on and then pushed it, my fingers nearly went through, so it was not going to last. Got the little attachment points on. I've carpeted the shelf now. It's just sitting there. I haven't tightened those bolts up. I'll put it in, lift it up to the transom floor, and it should be good. So I might just load the boat on again, get all that set up at the right height. Then I've just got to put the lights on. Oh, actually, I've got to give everything a coat of paint, then I'll load the boat. Oof, getting pretty close now. Got the lights done, number plate on, number plate light, plug at the front. Just going to put these boards on. So they're the ones left over I didn't use for the floor support. Not sure exactly where yet. We'll just move them around, see what looks best. But they'll be used to just walk up. Definitely need to be able to walk up to the end of the trailer, grab the boat, lift it up onto the trailer. That's the only way it sort of works, is getting it started. Walk down with the winch rope, chuck it on, and then, yeah, should be able to get it on pretty easy, but it's looking pretty good. I ended up getting new tyres as well, because I checked the date on the old ones and they were 21 years old and they had cracks in them, so going to all this effort, I didn't want to blow a tyre and flip the whole thing, lose the boat and trailer. And I've also ordered a new rim. I found them on eBay with the same stud pattern, same size. It was $130 delivered, so it wasn't cheap, but I figured I'd good insurance because I want to do some decent longer trips with this as well. Yeah, we'll get into it. That's those done. Also put a new hitch on because it came with the boat. Figured I'd chuck it on. The other one was a bit rusty, still functional, but thought I'd put a brand new one. And I've just been chucking some thread locker on all the important bolts, including the ones that hold the suspension and axle and everything on. Just chucking some on those just for a bit of insurance, and then a bit of a paint. Not going to go crazy, just touch up some areas and make it look all uniform colour along the chassis out on the outside, and then we're done, I reckon. I just thought I'd tell you how I've fastened the transom and that down. I've just got these rubber straps. They're 300 kilo lashings, just solid rubber. I think they're from Grunt. Just got them at Bunnings. I've got the transom hooks up there for the tow ropes for when we're pulling kids behind on biscuits, which have proved pretty handy here. And then it just comes down in a crisscross fashion from the top down onto there. That just holds the transom onto the transom seat, stops it moving really. And then I've got another one that goes over the top of the prop, down past the skeg, picks up another loop down there and just stops the motor moving. So that's all really solid now. Nothing moves in there. The whole trailer moves when you shake that, which is the outcome I wanted, which is good.